If there's one thing I've learned through the chaos, the wins, the heartbreaks, and the rise, it's this: how you start your morning is how you shape your entire life. You don't stumble into greatness half-assed sleep. You don't build dreams by dragging yourself through the first hour of your day with zero intention. You own your morning, you command it, you treat it like a sacred appointment with yourself, because if you don't make time for your growth, your clarity, your peace, no one else will. See, I used to be like many of you, jumping out of bed straight into someone else's narrative. Emails, texts, social media, notifications telling me who I should be, what I should look like, how fast I should move. It's exhausting, and more importantly, it's distracting. It's the quickest way to forget your own voice, so I changed it. I took my mornings back, and everything shifted. When you wake up and immediately plug into the world, you are choosing to live in reaction mode. You're not leading your life, you're following it. You're putting out fires before you've even lit your own flame. That's not power, that's passivity. Owning your morning means showing up for yourself before you show up for anyone else. It means waking up and choosing your focus, choosing your state of mind, choosing your energy before the world gets its hands on you, before your boss emails you, before the kids are yelling, before your phone becomes your master. It means creating space, mental, emotional, and spiritual space, to check in with you. What do I want today to feel like? What do I want to build today? What do I want to leave behind? You have to ask those questions before the noise starts. Because once the world wakes up, it will drag you into its agenda. If you haven't written your own, you'll end up living someone else's. This doesn't mean you need a 5-hour sunrise routine or a perfect green smoothie. Let's be real, life isn't that polished. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's 10 minutes before you run out the door. But it's not about time, it's about intention. It's about saying, I am worth beginning the day with purpose. I am not waking up just to survive. I'm waking up to thrive. For me, it starts the moment I open my eyes. I take a breath, not to scroll, but to center. I remind myself who I am before the world tries to label me. That moment, that pause is sacred. Then I move my body, even if just for a few minutes. Not to chase a number on a scale, but to feel alive. I write in my journal, sometimes just one sentence, sometimes a paragraph, but that act of reflection connects me to my truth. It's like clearing the dust off my mirror before I face the world. And listen, it's not about being perfect. Some mornings are hard, some are heavy, but even then I show up. I don't always leap out of bed like a superhero, but I refuse to be casual with my first hour. Because that's not just the start of the day, it's the start of my momentum, my discipline, my self-respect. Owning your morning means reclaiming your power. Daily, it means you no longer wait for motivation to strike. You create it. You don't wait to feel inspired. You build inspiration with your actions, with your routine, with your standards. Too many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, the perfect circumstance. But life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who show up consistently, quietly, powerfully, and it begins with the morning. You want to change your life. Don't start with resolutions. Start with your mornings. Because what you do repeatedly becomes who you are. One rushed, reactive morning turns into a chaotic week. One intentional, grounded morning turns into unstoppable momentum. This isn't about hustle culture or being constantly productive. It's about being present with yourself before the day pulls you in 100 directions. It's about giving yourself the dignity of direction, not just movement. You deserve a life that feels aligned. A life that feels chosen, and the first step to that is owning how you begin your day. No more waking up like it's an accident. No more crawling into the day hoping things magically go right. Set the tone. Set the pace, set the intention, because if you can win the morning, you can win the day, and if you can win the day, you can win the week, then the month, then the year, and before you know it, you've built a life of purpose, one morning at a time. So wake up, not just from sleep, but from distraction, from doubt, from delay. This is your time, this is your power, own it. Let's have a brutally honest conversation, because sugarcoating doesn't build success. It doesn't create discipline, and it certainly doesn't change lives. So here it is. The snooze button is not your friend. It's not a harmless habit. It's a slow leak that's draining your drive. Every time you hit snooze, you're not just buying 5 more minutes. You're making a deal with self-doubt. You're telling yourself, I'm not ready to show up for my life yet. And that one small choice sets the tone for everything that follows. You know what's wild? We set alarms because there's something we want or need to do. We literally make a commitment to ourselves the night before, then the moment comes, and what do? We delay, we negotiate. We betray our own promise, and that quiet betrayal is dangerous because it doesn't feel like failure, it feels like comfort. But comfort can be a cage when it keeps you from growth. I've learned that discipline starts with the smallest decisions. Not the big, flashy, Instagram-worthy moments, but the quiet ones when no one's watching. When the bed is warm, the sky is dark, and every excuse is begging you to stay still. That's the moment that defines your standard. That's the battle between who you are and who you could be. When you hit snooze, you're not just delaying your wake-up. You're delaying your purpose. You're postponing your power, and trust me, power doesn't wait. The world doesn't wait. Life doesn't pause while you roll over, and neither should you. Now let me be clear. I get it. Mornings are tough. Your body's tired. Your mind's foggy. The world outside the blanket feels overwhelming. But that's exactly why the snooze button is such a trap. It offers short-term comfort in exchange for long-term chaos, because that extra 10 minutes, it never leaves you feeling refreshed. It leaves you feeling guilty. Rushed, behind, and worst of all, disappointed in yourself. I don't want that for you. You weren't built for half-hearted starts. You weren't born to sleep through your potential. You were made to rise, to stand up with conviction even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. So break up with the snooze button like you would break up with someone toxic, someone who holds you back, someone who lies to you with sweet promises and empty comfort. You don't need 5 more minutes. You need to remember why you started. You need to remember what you said you wanted, because that version of you who set the alarm last night, that version had dreams, that version had ambition, so honor her. Don't ghost her in the morning. Here's what I've learned. The first decision of your day is a message to yourself. It says, I'm in charge, or I'm not ready. And whichever one you choose, your mind listens. It takes that message and runs with it. So when you hit snooze, your mind says, let's keep avoiding things. But when you get up, even when it's hard, your mind says, we do hard things. That's the kind of message that builds mental toughness. That's the kind of energy that carries you through big goals. You don't have to become a morning person overnight. This isn't about being perfect. This is about taking back control, about starting your day with intention instead of inertia. So start small, set the alarm, put your phone across the room, use a song that energizes you, remind yourself why you're getting up, whether it's for a workout, a dream project, a quiet moment of clarity, or simply to not live in panic. And when that alarm rings, don't think, move, because the longer you negotiate with comfort, the stronger its hold becomes. The bed will always feel better, but chasing your dreams will always be better. Let the discomfort of rising remind you that you're building something. You're stretching your willpower. You're setting a standard. Every time you choose movement over delay, you become more aligned with your future self, the one who doesn't wait, doesn't hesitate, doesn't shrink back. The truth is, the snooze button doesn't just delay your morning. It delays your mindset. It trains you to expect ease when you should be building endurance. It tricks you into thinking you've earned rest before you've even earned momentum. So stop making peace with procrastination. Stop romancing comfort. Stop telling yourself that 10 more minutes will change anything but your regrets. You've got things to do, a life to live, a legacy to build. And it starts the moment you choose to rise. You don't need more sleep. You need more commitment. You don't need another alarm. You need a reason, and that reason, it already lives inside you. You just have to decide you're done pressing pause on your potential. This isn't just about waking up, this is about rising up, about showing yourself every single day that you are strong enough to keep your promises, to leave the warmth of the bed for the fire of your purpose, to do what needs to be done before the world even starts watching. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm rings, don't hit snooze, hit start. There's a version of you that's unstoppable, a version that is focused, clear, powerful, and fully alive. But here's the thing, that version doesn't just show up, you have to fuel her. You can't expect your mind to be sharp, your emotions to be steady, or your body to be energized if you're constantly running on empty. You can't pour greatness out of yourself if you haven't taken the time to pour into yourself first. Let's be honest, we live in a world that glamorizes burnout, that celebrates being booked and busy, even when it's at the cost of our peace, our clarity, and our health. But what's the point of chasing every goal if you're too drained to enjoy it? If you're mentally foggy, emotionally on edge, physically exhausted, how are you going to sustain anything meaningful? You are not a machine. You are a living, breathing, dynamic force, and like anything powerful, you need fuel. Not just food, not just sleep, you need nourishment in every dimension, mental, emotional, and physical. You need to start your day not with chaos or caffeine, but with intention, with care, with self-respect. Fueling yourself mentally is about what you allow into your mind before the world has a chance to fill it with noise. Don't just wake up and scroll. Don't let random opinions or viral drama be the first thing your mind consumes. That's not breakfast, that's brain junk. Start your day with thoughts that strengthen you. Read something that expands your perspective. Write down your thoughts, your dreams, your gratitude. Say affirmations that feel like declarations. Protect your mental space like it's sacred, because it is. If you don't shape your mind, the world will shape it for you, and not always in your favor. Fueling yourself emotionally means checking in with your heart before you hand it over to the demands of the day. We're so quick to give our energy to others, to show up for jobs, friends, responsibilities. But when was the last time you truly showed up for you? Are you holding on to something heavy? Are you ignoring what you really need? Emotional fuel means giving yourself compassion, grace, boundaries. It means honoring your feelings without being ruled by them. You have the right to pause, to breathe, to not be okay, and still be strong. I remind myself every morning, emotional strength is not about pretending to have it all together. It's about being grounded in who I am, regardless of what the world throws at me. It's about knowing when to push and when to pause. It's about giving myself room to feel and permission to let go. That's power, that's presence, that's emotional fuel, and then there's the physical. Your body is the vessel that carries every dream, every goal, every mission you've got. It deserves your attention, not punishment, not neglect, respect. You don't have to be a fitness model to move your body. You just have to move, stretch, walk, breathe deeply, hydrate, eat like you love yourself, not like you're punishing yourself. What you put into your body becomes your energy, your focus, your glow. If you treat your body like an afterthought, it will start to respond like one. I'm not perfect. There are days I feel tired, days I feel overwhelmed. But the one promise I never break is this: I fuel myself first, not because it's selfish, but because it's essential. You can't lead when you're depleted. You can't love when you're emotionally bankrupt. You can't dream big when your mind is filled with mental clutter. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a strategy. We've been taught that success is about grinding non-stop, that if you're not exhausted, you're not doing enough. But real success, it's about sustainability. It's about being so aligned, so centered, so fueled that you don't burn out every time life tests you. It's about showing up fully, not just for one big moment, but every single day. And that begins with how you treat yourself in the morning. So tomorrow, before you answer that email, before you scroll through your feed, before you open your calendar, pause, fuel yourself, ask, what do I need today? Mentally, emotionally, physically, and then give yourself that gift. Maybe it's silence, maybe it's movement, maybe it's journaling or music or prayer or simply water and breath. Whatever it is, make it sacred. Make it non-negotiable, because when you give to yourself first, you don't just survive the day, you lead it. You don't just respond to the world, you shape it. You owe yourself that level of devotion, that level of care, not later, not after everyone else is taken care of. First, because when you are fueled, mentally sharp, emotionally calm, physically energized, you become unstoppable, you become magnetic. You become a force no one can ignore. Fuel yourself first, every day, no apologies, no exceptions, no delay. There's a difference between waking up and rising, between jumping into your day and stepping into it with power. Too many people are waking up every morning like it's a fire drill, rushing, scrambling, reacting. They're pouring coffee with one hand, replying to texts with the other, and mentally trying to catch up to a life that keeps running ahead of them. That's not living with purpose. That's surviving on autopilot. You were not born to rush. You were born to rise with ritual. Making your morning a ritual isn't about being slow. It's about being intentional. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. A ritual is something sacred, something you honor. And when you turn your morning into a ritual, you send a message to yourself: I matter, my energy matters, my peace matters. You stop living like the day owns you and start living like you own your day. Let's face it, most people are waking up already overwhelmed. They open their eyes and their mind starts sprinting. Deadlines, texts, tasks, traffic. No wonder the first thing they feel is stress. But what if the first thing you felt wasn't panic, but power, not pressure, but clarity? That's what a morning ritual creates. It's a space where you get to lead yourself before the world starts pulling on you. When you wake up and immediately check your phone, you're allowing the outside world to hijack your focus. You're letting other people's opinions, updates, and expectations shape your emotional state before you've even checked in with your own. That's like letting strangers walk into your bedroom and start shouting. Would you do that? No. So why let it happen mentally? A morning ritual is about choosing to meet yourself first, to meet the day like a queen, not a servant to your schedule. It might be 5 minutes, it might be an hour, but it's yours. It's that sacred window of time where you remind yourself, I am not here to chase, I am here to create. I'm not running from anything. I'm moving with purpose. For me, my morning ritual is where I build my armor. I don't jump into noise. I ground myself. I light a candle. I sit in stillness. I stretch. I sip water slowly, like I'm honoring my body for everything it's about to carry. Sometimes I journal. Sometimes I just breathe. But I always give myself presence before performance. That's the difference. The ritual reminds me that before I step into the world, I am already whole. I don't need to prove anything. I just need to be aligned. And here's what people don't realize. When you move in a rush, your nervous system is already on edge. You're setting the tone for anxiety, not achievement. But when you move with ritual, with care, with rhythm, you move with a different kind of power, a grounded power, and that power changes how you show up in every room, in every conversation, in every decision. Creating a morning ritual isn't about copying someone else's checklist. It's about asking yourself, what makes me feel connected? What anchors me? What fills me up before I give to others? Maybe it's music. Maybe it's prayer. Maybe it's writing, walking, meditating, or simply sitting in silence with your coffee. There's no right way. The only rule is it's yours. You deserve to be the first priority in your day, not the last. You deserve to begin from a place of alignment, not exhaustion. The way you start your morning is not just about what you do, it's about how you treat yourself, and that energy ripples into everything else. Into how you speak, how you make decisions, how you hold boundaries, how you lead. You cannot expect to create a powerful life with a powerless beginning. You cannot ask for excellence when your first hour is chaos. The ritual is the foundation. Without it, your day is built on sand, but with it, you become unshakable. It's time to break up with the glorification of busy. Stop measuring your worth by how fast you can move. Start measuring it by how fully you can be. Because when you move from intention, when you lead yourself before the world leads you, you become magnetic, you attract clarity, you attract balance, you attract results that don't drain you. They elevate you. You are not meant to live in a panic. You are not here to sprint through life, trying to prove your worth in productivity. You are here to lead, to move with grace, to build the life you want. One choice, one moment, one morning at a time. So tomorrow morning, don't just get up and go. Rise with breath, with stillness, with clarity. Create a morning that reflects your future, not your fear. A morning that feels sacred, not scattered. A morning that whispers to you, you've got this. Because when your morning is a ritual, your life becomes a masterpiece. Every morning, before the noise starts, before the emails roll in, before the world begins demanding pieces of me, I ask myself one powerful question: what am I creating today? Not what do I have to do today? Not what's on my calendar, not who needs something from me, but what am I intentionally building, shaping, birthing into existence today, through my energy, my words, my presence. Because the truth is, every day, whether you realize it or not, you are creating something. You are either creating alignment or anxiety. You are creating progress or delay. You are building your future or you're postponing it. The difference lies in your awareness, in your intention, and that's what this one question unlocks. We live in a world that glorifies busyness. Everyone is doing 100 things at once, rushing through tasks like they're running on a treadmill they never chose. But busyness doesn't equal creation. Just because your schedule is full doesn't mean your soul is. Just because you're moving doesn't mean you're building. That's the danger of being busy without purpose. You can go an entire day, an entire year, without creating anything that really matters to you. So I pause, I reflect, I ask, what am I creating today? And when I ask that, I'm not just thinking about my career or my projects. I'm thinking bigger, I'm thinking deeper. What energy am I putting into the world? What intention am I pouring into my work? What legacy am I weaving with the way I speak, the way I show up, the way I treat people? Maybe today I'm creating peace by choosing not to engage with negativity. Maybe I'm creating discipline by showing up for a workout I didn't feel like doing. Maybe I'm creating courage by having a tough conversation with love and truth. It doesn't always have to be massive. Sometimes what you're creating is subtle but sacred, a mindset, a shift, a moment of clarity that realigns your entire path. But you cannot create on purpose if you never stop to think about what you want to create. Most people wake up and start reacting. They become responders to life instead of designers of it. They wait to be told what the day will be. But power doesn't live in reaction. It lives in intention. And if you don't lead your day with a sense of creation, the day will lead you into distraction, noise, and emotional fatigue. You'll feel busy but not accomplished, exhausted but not fulfilled. This is your life. Not a rehearsal, not a placeholder, not something you get to later. And every single day is an opportunity to make something meaningful out of it. Not just through your achievements, but through your awareness. Through your choices, through the quiet ways you show up with purpose and presence. So ask yourself, before you check your phone, before you plug into the world, before you scroll through someone else's life, what am I creating today? What kind of energy do I want to bring into this world? What kind of woman am I becoming with the choices I make in the next 24 hours? Am I creating love, grace, discipline, focus? Am I creating progress in my dream, even if it's one small step? Or am I just surviving the day, letting it pass by like another blur in a life I say I want to change? Here's the truth that changed everything for me. You don't become who you want to be all at once. You create her, one day at a time, one intention at a time, one bold choice, one brave step, one focused hour at a time, and it starts in the morning, not with a checklist, not with pressure, with presence. With purpose, I've had days where I created from fear, where I let urgency override clarity. I've had days where I created chaos because I never stopped to ask what I actually wanted, and I've had days, powerful days, where I created alignment not through doing more, but by being more intentional. And I can tell you, those are the days that shifted everything. You are not here to just exist. You are not here to check off tasks and hope it all adds up. You are here to create a life that feels like yours. Create impact, create beauty, create peace in a world that needs it, and that begins with asking every morning, what am I creating today? Because when you start your day with that question, everything changes. Your decisions become clearer, your time becomes sacred, your actions become powerful, you stop living by default, and you start living by design. So tomorrow and every day after, wake up with purpose. Don't rush into your to-do list. Don't collapse into habit. Rise into intention. Speak into your life with clarity. You are not just going through a day. You are shaping a destiny. You are not just reacting. You are creating. So create something worth remembering. Create something that reflects the truth of who you are and who you're becoming, and never forget, your life is your masterpiece. Make it count. Your peace is not optional. It's not something you access only when everything calms down or when you've checked every box. It's not a reward at the end of a long day. It's the foundation for how you think, how you lead, how you love, how you create. And yet too many of us treat peace like it's disposable, like it's a luxury, like it's negotiable. It's not. Your peace is a diamond. It's rare, it's valuable, and it's incredibly easy to lose if you're careless with it. You can't just leave it lying around unguarded, exposed to chaos, criticism, drama, or distraction, because once it's chipped away, once your energy is scattered, it's not so easy to get back. We protect our phones with passwords. We protect our money with banks. We protect our homes with locks. But how many of us are protecting our peace, that deep, grounded, still part of us that keeps us from falling apart? In a world that constantly pulls at your attention, your emotions, and your energy, protecting your peace is not selfish. It's strategic, it's survival, it's strength, because when you don't protect your peace, you start to forget who you are. You start reacting instead of leading. You start settling instead of choosing. You start feeling drained, anxious, bitter, and you don't even know why. I've learned, sometimes the hard way, that you cannot do powerful things with a chaotic mind. You cannot show up fully in your relationships, your goals, or your dreams if your inner world is constantly under attack. And let's be real. Your peace will always be under attack if you don't set boundaries, if you don't say no, if you don't walk away from what drains you. Protecting your peace means being willing to disappoint other people before you betray yourself. It means being selective about who and what gets access to your energy. It means asking yourself, does this feed my spirit or does it rob me of it? And having the courage to act on the answer. There will always be people who try to pull you into their chaos, people who thrive on drama, people who mistake your silence for weakness and your kindness for permission. But you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to explain your peace to people who profit from your confusion. You don't owe access to anyone who hasn't earned the right to hold space for your calm. Protecting your peace also means watching what you consume. The media, the conversations, the voices you allow into your head first thing in the morning. If you're starting your day with negativity, with comparison, with fear-based content, don't be surprised when you feel out of alignment before you've even had breakfast. Be intentional. Curate your inputs the way you curate your outfit, deliberately and with self-respect. Peace isn't about escaping reality. It's about standing in it with clarity and strength. It's knowing that no matter how loud the world gets, your soul stays grounded, your mind stays focused, your heart stays full. That kind of peace doesn't just happen. You build it, you defend it, you choose it moment by moment. I used to think that being strong meant being available to everyone, for everything, all the time. That peace would just happen after I handled everyone else's needs, but peace doesn't follow burnout. It doesn't show up when you've given every ounce of yourself to people who never pour back. Peace starts when you start choosing you without guilt. That's the work, to choose your peace even when it's inconvenient, even when it's misunderstood, even when the world tries to make you feel like being unbothered is arrogant or cold. It's not. Protecting your peace is protecting your power. Your ability to show up with purpose, to create with clarity, to love with presence, to lead without losing yourself. And protecting your peace doesn't mean you don't face hard things. It means you face them without being consumed by them. It means you can be in the storm without becoming the storm. It means you've done the inner work to hold space for yourself, no matter what chaos surrounds you. So set the boundary. Let go of the conversation that always ends in tension. Don't respond to the message that ruins your mood. Turn off the noise. Unfollow the energy that triggers insecurity. Walk away from the table where respect is not being served. You are not obligated to be available to anyone or anything that costs you your calm. You don't need to explain your peace to people who live in chaos. You don't need to shrink yourself to keep the peace outside if it costs you the peace within. So every day, choose it. Choose stillness. Choose silence. Choose solitude when necessary. Choose to guard your peace like it's a diamond, because that's exactly what it is. Precious, priceless, irreplaceable. Let your peace be your power. Let it be your compass. Let it be the thing you never, ever sacrifice, no matter how loud, demanding, or chaotic the world becomes. Because a woman who protects her peace, she becomes unshakable,